With Podmate 0.5, we now have the ability to export automated edits right into the Davinci Multicam tool. And so what that will look like at the end is a multicam edit of 3 different angles between first person, second person, and the split camera. And this is a 1 hour long podcast, the entire thing done with the Podmate plugin. But how do we actually accomplish this? So we're going to start off with a timeline which has 2 different camera angles, as you can see. If you have a third angle, which is a wide angle, you can feel free to put it onto this third track. If you want to manufacture a split cam using the 2 different angles, then actually leave it blank and Podmate will manufacture that for you. So now we have these 2 angles and the associated audios. We now go to File, Export, Timeline, and you can go ahead and choose a timeline name. So we'll call this Edited Podcast 2. And save it with the XML file format right here up top. Go ahead and save that. And now we can minimize Davinci. Last thing to note was that these 4 were synced up. And so if they're not synced up, make sure they get synced up before you export them. All right, we'll minimize that and go into Podmate. We will now set up basic settings. So we're just going to make sure this first option is a yes. That means that it will manufacture a split cam for us. We want to use a wide cam or split cam as a third angle. We'll make that yes. And then we'll jump down to select wide cam sensitivity. We're going to start off with a medium sensitivity. And then this last option, we can not worry about it for this particular tutorial. All right, we'll go ahead and save that. Now we'll do a test run. Test run is just going to edit the first 15 minutes of the podcast. If you'd like to do a full run, you can click the import button instead. Click on test run. We find the XML file we just created, unedited podcast 2. Open that. And Podmate should begin editing it. All right, I've jumped ahead a couple minutes and the edit is now complete. So now we have the option between DaVinci Resolve Multicam, DaVinci Resolve Regular, and Premiere Pro Regular. So we'll click DaVinci Resolve Multicam, export that. We'll choose a folder. We'll choose this folder here, open it, and it should create a FCP XML file. You don't have to worry about the file format or anything about that. We'll just go ahead and open up DaVinci Resolve and we'll do the opposite of what we did last time. Last time we did File, Export, Timeline. This time we'll do File, Import, Timeline. We'll choose the edited timeline FCP XML that just generated, import that. We'll just choose a name, Multicam, and then you don't have to worry about the rest of these options. Go ahead and click OK. All right, so here is what we have. Ignore this, it just edited the first 15 minutes. If you clicked on the regular import button, it should have done the full thing. So now to open up the multicam, we're gonna click this button here. So let me open it up a little bit larger. We're gonna click this button to do the side by side, and then we'll go ahead and click on multicam here. Okay, so now we can go ahead and play it. And I had to lower my render resolution because it wasn't playing back too smoothly, but this is just a lower resolution proxy. So now it will go between angle 1 here. Angle 3 is a split cam. This is actually angle 3. Ignore the fact that it doesn't look correctly here. That's just a weird DaVinci quirk, but it actually is a side-by-side manufactured split cam, meaning it's actually a compound clip. And then it will jump to angle 1 and so on and so forth. So to actually edit this, what I like to do is first click on this clip here, right click, change clip duration, and I go and I hit end, change that, and then do the same for this one. That way we can have a actual nice clean waveform, which we can use as information when we're editing. Now the next thing is we want to have it on video only cutting. We don't want it to cut audio and video or audio. I prefer to cut only video. And so what that allows us to do is now to switch to angle 2 and then to switch to angle 1. And maybe if we want to increase angle 1 slightly backwards, and basically allows us to tweak things much more efficiently. Another really important shortcut is holding Alt and then clicking 1, 2, or 3, and that will change the entire clip. So if you just press 1, 2, or 3, it will change only that section. But if you hold Alt and click 1, 2, or 3, it will change that entire clip over. So that's an important shortcut. And then another important thing to look into is the fact that the split cams are not always going to be set up how you want them to be set up. And so imagine I want to put the first host to the left and the second host to the right. Imagine if I wanted to flip them. What I'm going to have to do is open Media Pool. If you want to alter the split cams, how they look, you'll have to open up these 3, right click, open in Timeline, And we'll go ahead and click this button to switch back to one single preview. And I will go ahead and minimize this, open up Inspector, and then I will move angle 2 to the right, and then I will move angle 1 to the left. And then we also have to change the crop on angle 2. So I'll open up crop and crop him a little bit this way, move angle 1 over here, and that looks pretty decent. Now the problem is there are actually two more Splitcam compound objects. So I'm gonna actually have to copy and paste. So copy these, Command C, open this up with open in timeline, and then I'm actually gonna delete these and paste what I just copied. And then same thing over here, open in timeline, delete these, and paste it. So that's just something we have to do to deal with DaVinci Resolve, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future I can find ways to streamline that process. But now we have the hosts now switched, and it will be switched no matter what you do. Another thing you might want to do is to change how a person looks. So not necessarily the Splitcam, but one of the ISOs. These are the three multicam objects. So we're going to open up one of the multicam objects, open it in timeline, and then we will go ahead and tweak the two ISOs. So first we'll disable the Splitcam. And make sure this link button here is dark so that only the video clips will be selected. And then angle 2, I'm going to have him zoomed in a bit, maybe give him a nice close zoom. I will disable that. Angle 1, give him a nice close zoom, and just make sure that nothing's accidentally getting muted. Okay, so now we're back to normal, and we just have a much tighter zoom on both of the ISO, both of the hosts. So now we're actually gonna click on one, hold shift, click on the other, Command C, so to copy it. We'll open up the media pool, click on the other, click on 1, click on 2, delete, and then we'll go ahead and paste. So that's pasted over. We'll do the same for the last one. Right click, open in timeline, grab these two, delete, and paste. And that is a bit tedious, but hopefully it only takes you around a minute. And hopefully the time savings from having the ability to work with Multicam Tool makes up for that. If you have a wide angle, meaning you have a genuine wide angle shot, you actually should not have to worry about the split cams. You should be able to go just into these and manipulate the wide cam the same way you manipulated the two ISOs. And I'll work on ways to make Podmate more streamlined so you won't have to do that whole process in the future. But now we have the split cam looking much better with the hosts switched. We'll reopen the multicam, and now we'll have the nice tight ISOs, the split cam how we want them, etc., etc. I hope you were able to follow along. So the last thing I want to remind you of, if you want to alter the split cams, how they look, you'll have to open up these three by right-clicking, opening in timeline. And if you'd like to alter the ISOs, you'll have to open up these three and alter them. Hopefully you can alter them in one of them, and then copy and paste to the other two, and then same for the split cams.